Welcome everybody. We're going live in the Soul Journey Sanctuary. I have with me my mother, Rona.
Hello everyone.
She's co-hosting our weekly card pull party and energy update with yours truly, Christina Wolf. And we had a few fun things we wanted to share. We just went to a Healing Arts Festival today. And if you can hear in the background some flute music, I wanted to share that. And some of the goodies that I got were from a local native woman called Virgie Ravenhawk. We're listening to this right now, Canyon Dreams. And she has, welcome if you're just joining, say hi. She and her wife, Debbie Drumhawk, also make items for shamans and healers, and this is my fan.
Light workers,
essentially, energy workers. And I bought also for smudging an Abalone shell with, I have some white sage in here, and a little stand. I'll show you her card, her business card in a minute here. Welcome if you're just coming on. Hello, Courtney. Welcome. Let me know if you want a card. And this is my mom, Rona.
Hi, Courtney.
And my rattle, which has some turquoise embedded in, sorry, poking you in the face, figuratively, Mom. So in the end of it. And my mom explained to me, let me explain a little bit. My mom is kind of the reason why I do what I do, because she had all these really cool books hanging around, like the Dreamer's Dictionary and herbal medicine and Edgar Cayce books. So, you know, oh yes, she is beautiful. Courtney says hi. And she's the one who bought me the medicine cards. So my mom also practices shamanism, a form of it, with a lady called Julie Hannon and another lady, Enolia Foti?
Yep, Foti.
And they're in the Northeast in Massachusetts. And
yeah, I've worked with him.
Yes. And so we just wanted to say hi. And before we get started, there's another, remember how I'm always talking about where to put your herbs in a medicine pouch? I bought one of these from Virgie Ravenhawk and her wife Debbie. They make all kinds of leather work. This stuff is just like the basics of some of their beautiful artistry. I'll show you their business card here too, if you're interested. Red Tail Hawk Enterprises. I know it's really blurry right there. Maybe you can get it. And then on the back, virgieravenhawk.com. Good stuff. So it's super hot in here, so we're all sweating, and it's like 105 degrees here. But this is a medicine pouch. So you want to put your personal medicine in it, like herbs, crystals, whatever you feel like you need to help you stay grounded. They also offer, Virgie also makes their like deer antler or elk antler, for lack of a better term, knives, but they're cord cutters. And she makes a little sheath for them, and you can use those like whenever you go somewhere and you feel like negativity and you need to like cut the cords. So I just didn't have the money to buy everything. They also make drums, obviously. Debbie does that as well. Hello, Bethany. Say hi if you're just popping on. Let me know if you want a card.
Hey, Bethany.
We want to let y'all know we're going to be doing the regular herbal tarot reading and then the animal cards. So a few things for the energy update. I don't know about you guys, but obviously I'm taking a break for the summer during Mars retrograde, which is kind of a unique thing for me because in the past, and this is why Mars retrograde is really important. Mars retrograde is a time where you feel like the energy of doing and going and, you know, that male penetrating energy of going out and doing and claiming you sort of question it. You go, is this really what I want to be doing right now? It's a time to sort of go within and maybe sometimes feel a little frustrated because you don't know if you're putting your energy towards something that you should be putting it towards. And I think this theme of asking the question, is this good for me, has been coming up a lot for me, like a lot of people I've noticed around me. Like, are we tolerating things that we shouldn't be tolerating? Are we maybe inserting ourselves in a situation that will feel frustrating and we didn't think ahead of time? Like, how will this situation be for me? And so I think Mars retrograde is a perfect time to pull back and really rethink where you want to put your energy. And so Mars retrograde started, I think it was June 30th or something like that, and it ends August 27th. So for me, it was kind of like a no-brainer. I'm just going to pull back and enjoy my summer and go within. And one of the other things that I do enjoy a lot is Kai Pacha's weekly Paleo report, and I also enjoy Rick Levine's astrological report, and they're talking a lot about this idea of Saturn returns. And Saturn returns is going to be here until 2020, basically. And if you have any kind of Capricorn in your natal chart, I'm not an expert on astrology, but I do know I'm Capricorn rising. I'm really feeling the effects of Saturn right now, which can feel like depression, sadness, whatever. And this week, Kai Pacha talks about this, how in the past, when you just go within and contemplate your life, that's what Saturn asks you to do. And it doesn't mean you're depressed. It just means you're contemplating your life. And what a perfect time to do it during Mars retrograde. Because Saturn is going to be, think about what you're doing in 1990. That's the last time Saturn came into Capricorn, its home sign. And for me, that was 8th grade. 8th grade and going into 9th grade. And that was an interesting time for me. And think about the themes in your life, what you were doing 28 years ago, maybe 1990. So that said, the other thing, Rick Levine, I bring him up because he had this really amazing analogy about the Saturn returns in Mars retrograde. It's this idea of people think, oh my gosh, something is in retrograde, maybe I should just stop doing something. Well, he mentions that the outer planets, the bigger ones, tend to be slower moving and have a more profound effect on us than, say, like Mercury, or the moon, which just sort of blips through each sign every 2 days or whatever, or a couple months. And Saturn, it rotates like every 28 years, right? And so he's saying, don't not do stuff, but when you do them, it's sort of like the analogy of being an Olympic diver. So when you're an Olympic diver, you get graded or assessed on not only how well you executed the dive, but the difficulty of the dive. And so when you do anything during Saturn returns, it's not saying don't do it, but like, for example, if you do a swan dive perfectly, you might get like a 10 in the way you executed it, but maybe a 5 because it was a very simple dive. It wasn't technically difficult. But in Saturn returns, whatever you're doing tends to be a more technically difficult thing to do. And so the energy you're working with is like, you either really perform well and you'll be given assessed on your technical difficulty and how well you executed the dive, basically. So they're not saying don't do anything, but what you're doing may require a little more technical difficulties, if that makes sense. So I was like, wow, that really put a lot into perspective for me. So let's get started on the weekly card reading. And as always, I'm going to open up Sacred Space. And we have little children at the door. you know, if you hear any noises, that's them. So we're gonna I'm gonna move this over so we can see Mom. She's sort of.
That's okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Make it up.
Okay, so Bethany would like an animal card. I'm gonna read an animal card for Bridget as well because she asked for one and she can't make it on tonight's reading. And then let's see. All right, so before, I don't have my phone on me, but I know from past readings, the east is over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call in the winds of the east. We thank you so much to Brother Eagle for giving us the bird's eye view, for being the place of the void, the place for which we all come from and the place to which we all return. We thank you so much for your ability to give us higher perspective, the higher self. This is the springtime of our life. This is generative energy. This is bursting out of the seed. This is Aries energy. And we thank you so much for your ability to show us how to have the highest perspective. So we thank you, Brother Eagle. We thank you so much, Eagle Condor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now the winds of the south. This is the summer of our lifetime. And we thank you, Brother Snake, for showing us how to humbly walk closely to the earth and to shed old skin. This is us coming into full fruition. This is that bursting energy of the full moon. This is the ability to let things go. We thank you, thank you, thank you for being in the here and the now, in the full noon of our day, of our lives. We thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The summertime of our lives. And then now to the winds of the west, Brother Jaguar, my spirit totem. We love you so much for your impeccability, for your ability to teach us how to navigate the dark night of the soul. This is water energy. This is our emotions. This is the winds of the west. This is the setting sun, the ability to do a life review and navigate through the hard times and with integrity, as Brother Jaguar teaches us. We thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, the winds of the north. This is spirit of hummingbird, spirit of elk and caribou, endurance, and the lightness of being, Sami energy. This is the place of our ancestors. This is air energy, winter going within, the mental space that we operate under, and being very familiar with our lineage, where we came from. Just remember, we're all our legacy basically coming together. And then we like to thank Mother Earth. We thank you so much for holding us in your womb, for hosting us, caring for us, loving us, making sure that we're cared for, and just nourishing us and grounding us. We thank you so much.
We thank the two-legged, the four-legged.
Oh yes, and we do. We
the
thank
fin, the furred,
the two-legged, the four-legged, the fin, the furred, the winged ones, all of our relations. As in Lakota Sioux, the saying is "Nitakuye oyasa," and of course, Father Sky, the Great Spirit, and all of our star nations, and we thank you for just the mysteries of the universe, for the benevolence that you bestow upon us, and all of our spirit guides, our ancestors that have come between us to show us what we need to know and to guide us along the way. That includes our ascended masters like Mary, Mother Mary, Jesus, Buddha, and also my archangels like Archangel Michael. And of course, I always thank Grandmother Moon and Grandfather Sun for showing us the cycles of life, for appreciating that things come and go, and for giving us life, and for being the wonderful part of us that shows us that things come and go and pass through, and we thank you for bringing us together. Yes, and for bringing us together. So thank you for that. And did you want to add anything, Ma?
No.
All right,
Beautiful.
wonderful. All right, so as I'm doing that, I'm going to shuffle my cards. And if anybody else would like a card as you're listening in, let me know. Got one here that does not belong. Okay. And as I usually do, I'm going to shuffle and talk. Let me know how your experience has been. Okay, Karen wants a card. Okay, would you, and Courtney, let me know, do you want an herbal card or do you want an animal card? I'll write those down. Karen and Courtney. Okay. So this summer, what do y'all have planned for your Mars retrograde period? Okay, Bethany wants animal, Karen wants an animal, and then Courtney.
Let me put on my glasses.
There we go. I think we got you. There we go. Okay. And again, if you're enjoying this flute music, if you just popped on after I explained it, it's Virgie Ravenhawk from VirgieRavenhawk.com. Redtail Hawk Enterprises. I like to support local artisans. She makes, her and her wife Debbie make all of their light worker tools by hand with the utmost integrity. Okay, so now I'm going to pick with my left hand. Of course, the left hand is the intuitive side of you. This is for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then one for the week. The energy, the overall energy of the week. Emma, do you want a card? Do you want an herbal card or do you want an animal card?
Animal card.
Okay. Then one. Animal card. And Mom might have to pop off to go tend to little kids because my nephew's here too. And you know how little kids are. Okay, so get in the camera here. For Monday, Tuesday, the moon, okay? And it's really awesome. I haven't been pulling any of these cards. This is a major arcana. This is like some big energy. Mars retrograde tends to do that. It tends to bring some big energy to you. Things that you maybe weren't called to do, you're sort of realizing now I am being called to do. This is kind of like, oh, I thought I wanted to be a doctor, but the reason why you wanted to be a doctor is you wanted to help people, but you realize the best way you can help people is to maybe become a shaman or something like that. And you're just realizing maybe you need to rethink how you're putting your energy out there. And so moon energy is, of course, going within. And lemon balm has that, sorry, I'm not going to cover your face, Ma. The moon, ruled by Pisces, is in charge of our evolution, both physically and spiritually. This is perfect during beginning of Mars retrograde. Like, where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? If you're not really, it's kind of like sitting out in your car and you're just sort of driving around. You're not really getting anywhere unless you have a real destination. Or if you realize you want to go west, but you've been driving east, it's time to reassess and reassert. So as we recognize our self-unfoldment, we must confront our hidden fears and the shadow side of ourselves. That's another part of Saturn returns, is a really uncomfortable assessment of self, of internal weakness, of, in your mind, like what you think, these patterns, like patterns that come up in your life over and over and over again. Why are they coming up? What are they teaching you? What's the real core wound, I guess, that you keep reliving somehow? Our bodies must reflect and incorporate the old and new energies with which we now function. Again, that question of, is this good for me? How is this situation going to be for me? So this is perfect for those of us with really porous boundaries, where like we tend to want to help people, we tend to want to overfunction, we tend to want to I guess fix things for people when really it's not our job to fix it. So the moon is kind of asking us to really go within and find out, where's our energy going, and is it good for us? Are we leaking energy somewhere? So during sleep, moon energies process the change that we go through in all aspects of our being, body, mind, and spirit. The moon also helps us to realize that forces greater than our own thoughts guide our evolution. So there may be some stuff that is going on that you need to just sort of let kind of spirit take care of. Remember when I talked about like blowing your care into this, you know, symbolic bubble and letting it go off into the universe. Another way is to let purple flame energy take it away into the universe and sort of transmute it into something positive. So if you have this situation or something going on where you just can't really come up with a way through it, to blow that energy into that pink bubble and let purple flame energy take it. So that's that universal energy that the moon is talking about, the tides, letting something greater than yourself sort of carry you. You know, let the river carry you. You don't have to fix everything. You don't have to be the doer of everything. The moon, mother. The moon has long been thought of as the grandmother, the mother of the earth, okay? Her reflected sunlight is part of the dreamscape of forms and ideas which are to be and which have been. All things blend in her light and the forms are softened. So the primal yin energy that she emanates calls forth in us feelings and emotions that have long been hidden. She is the Piscean mist that sees all things as part of the flowing divine life force. The moon is the water and the substance of life. The scorpion on the moon card represents the self-centered ego. When the scorpion's internal reality changes, it can step out of its shell and move on to the next form, which is the lizard, a creature with the ability to regenerate itself physically. The rocks represent the mineral kingdom and its evolution, and the plant is a representative of the plant's kingdom's evolution. The idea of evolution, metamorphosis, and doing what is instinctive are all part of the moon's pull. So this is another thing. You may be pulled by spirit to do something, you know, you're like, it doesn't make sense. Like me, I'm being pulled to just sort of shut down for a little bit and just enjoy the summer, but it might not make sense from a mental standpoint. Like, well, that doesn't make sense if you're running a business. You shouldn't be doing that. But the moon pulls you. It's giving you that energy to pull you towards something. It's spirit calling you to flow to that place of
Go with the flow.
Yeah, to go with the flow.
Wax and wane.
Wax and wane, exactly. And it's so important, this yin energy, and we're all very masculine, in my opinion, like heavy with the masculine energy, like men and women alike. We tend to not value going within or slowing down. Like we don't think slowing down is doing something and therefore not valuable, but it really absolutely is, like creating that space to allow in what you want. And
to be.
Yes, to be. Like understanding the balance of doing and versus being. And so lemon herb, the herb of evolution, this would be something to stick in your little medicine pouch. Even if you want to write lemon herb or show a picture of it, put it in your little pouch and keep it close to you. The lovely lemon balm, also known as Melissa, has long been known as an herb that balances the feelings and the emotions. It helps resolve moodiness and melancholia, which, by the way, during Saturn return being melancholy, that's its energy. Saturn gives off kind of a melancholy energy. It was sacred to alchemists, and the plant-based philosopher's stone is made from an alchemical preparation of this plant. In a metaphorical sense, Melissa guides us as we traverse the misty emotional state of the moon. So you might want to use this idea of the lemon balm herb to help you through maybe meditating on what do I need to be doing this summer, or just even the next day or two. Is this good for me? This is an excellent herb for children who function on moon energy for the first years of their lives. So lemon balm treats fevers, nervousness, hysteria, insomnia, melancholy, depression, cramps, and gas. It's the best herb for treating most simple acute children's diseases. Maybe your inner child. Not only for its excellent properties, but also for its pleasant flavor. So, oops, you're gonna hold the card? There we go.
The card for you.
Right here in the
There
middle.
we go.
Perfect. You can make a moon tea. We've tried to do this. My friend Chris made some, but I think it's best if you use it with dried lemon balm, or just buy some from an apothecary somewhere. To pull it directly off the plant and then try to infuse it in water doesn't necessarily taste that good. So this tells you to place about ½ ounce of lemon balm, and again dried, in a quart jar and let it sit in the moonlight for 2 to 8 hours. And place the jar on the earth if possible so that it can partake in the earth's energy as well. And let me know how you make out with that. So the affirmation for the moon for Monday, Tuesday: my emotions are rivers to the ocean of peace. I flow with the rhythm of life. And that's important to remember, like, this is, the whole point is inner peace, right? Another herb allies are peppermint, spearmint, and catnip. All right, so that's it for Monday, Tuesday. Next, Six of Wands. There you go. Got some fire energy here. Six of Wands.
There we go. Staying still.
Yep. You're covering up your own face.
Not meaning to, just trying to find a play with this.
Six of Wands.
Six of Wands.
Okay. Hawthorn. That's the herb that goes with the Six of Wands. A warrior appears triumphant after a minor conflict. The mood is one of tentative victory. The contenders have left their staves, or wands, behind and seem to have deserted the battlefield. Perhaps they've decided that the prize is not, after all, worth the struggle, thus leaving the victor the problem of confronting the true worth of his achievement. This, I think, is asking us to pick our battles completely. Like, what are we deciding is worth arguing over? Especially in this Mars retrograde energy. If you listen to Rick Levine or Kai Pacha, they talk about how that most wars are started during the Mars retrograde period. Not every, but they'd say that the vast majority of them begin under this energy of conflict and the urge to be, that internal frustration, like I'm not getting what I need, so I'm going to force the other person's hand. And so this is kind of telling us, like, to be mindful of that and to ask, like, is this really, worth the struggle? Is it really worth, getting into it with somebody? Example, me getting into it with people about Donald Trump on the internet. Is that like a Pyrrhic victory where, like, at the end of it, everybody's bloodied and dead and it doesn't feel good. Like, you didn't to engage in that kind of energy. So this is saying, the Six of Wands is saying, choose your battles. Where do you want to put your energy? If something you're doing is giving away vital life force, stop doing it. And pay attention to that. That's that moon energy at the beginning of the week saying, is this good for me? Be sure that what you're struggling to achieve is worth the price of time and energy expended. You may find others acquiescing and stepping aside simply because they've decided the possible gain is not worth the potential loss. The exception to this is the value of undergoing a challenging or difficult task for the sake of a personal growth and realization. Such exercises are often done as an initiation rite. Remember, however, each amount of our lives offers an opportunity to rise above our limitations. So if you know, like, something that you're doing in the past has not worked, this is a good time to say, okay, this time I'm going to do something different. Like, if I know every time I go down that road I step in a hole, I'm going to learn not to go down that road. Or every time I date somebody who's emotionally unavailable, I get this feeling inside and it doesn't feel good to me. So it's that sort of energy, like really picking where do you want to put your energy. So we may not be up to them all So we should learn to choose those opportunities that offer the most good for all, okay? This may be a time for self-confidence and pride in leadership and teamwork abilities. Be open for messages from within or from the world around you as to what you're able to do next. So Hawthorne will help release a person from feelings of disharmony and even hate. Mm-hmm. So if you've had a situation where you're feeling, here we go, like if you put it,
there we go, we've got the,
like right here is the perfect spot. If you've had like a situation where you know has been disharmonious in your life, Hawthorne will help you kind of figure out a way to, you know, stop horses in midstream, learn to let it go, learn to, you know, pick your battles, or also, you know, learn to put your energy elsewhere where it can be of greater use to you. Hawthorn berries combine mildly sedative and calming properties. Herbalists regard it as a gentle but effective remedy for problems of the heart and the circulatory system. If you're really stopped up, like arteriosclerosis, angina pectoris, and high blood pressure. Most of those are related to you feeling a lot of stopped up emotions that you don't know how to express any other way. And anger is very prevalent now during this Mars retrograde because Mars is the god of war. And so that feeling of frustration may be there, like frustration of this person's just not hearing my point, or you feel like maybe your wants, needs, interests aren't being heard and it's frustrating to you. Maybe that feeling, these feelings of the heart, basically. Hawthorn berries for high blood pressure are taken alone or in combination with yarrow, European mistletoe, cayenne, and linden flowers. Some herbalists believe the flowers and leaves possess a greater concentration of the active principle than the berries. So if you're interested in using hawthorn to break up some of this frustrated energy, use the herbal essence to fortify the energy of the heart and to foster feelings of self-love and love for those whom you have been in conflict. So the best way to release it is to love them through the process. You know, love your haters. Okay, that's what it's telling you. Love your haters. And wear some of the berries in a pouch, like my little medicine bag here. If even, again, like it may not be practical because, you know, berries are messy. If they're dried, you can put them in here. If not, just write the word hawthorn and the essence of it or a photo of it and put it in here. Okay, so medicinally, hawthorn berries make a pleasant and somewhat sour tea. You might be able to order them off of Apothecary. And I wonder if this is cutting your face off. Huh? It's okay. There we go. You're seeing like half a face here. Okay. Simply simmer 1 or 2 tablespoons of the, yeah, or we'll just hold it lower. Can y'all see that?
Can I do this?
Yeah, you can hold it right here. There you go. Medicinally, hawthorn berries make a pleasant and somewhat sour tea. You can simmer 2 tablespoons of the crushed berries in a cup of boiling water. Don't use them with ulcers or other stomach ailments because it can bring you excessive body heat. Use the herbal essence instead. Essence meaning tincture, or basically they concentrated the medicinal qualities of the plant in like some sort of alcohol suspension. So affirmation, I confidently move forward in the direction that my heart dictates. So remember, this whole week already is going to be like, is this good for me? Is this really where I want to be going? Am I letting this give away, where am I giving away vital life force? So that's Wednesday, Thursday. So now we're going to move on to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got Queen of Pentacles. What do we got? Marshmallow. Yeah, here you go. You can hold it. Pentacles, earth energy. I like that. So we've had the moon, we've had some fire energy, and now we've got some earth energy going. And marshmallow, which is actually mostly used in bark form. The stickiness of it is what people mistake real marshmallows with. Well, real marshmallow is bark. the fake marshmallows, that plastic stuff that we eat when we make s'mores. That's not really marshmallow. Interesting how we derive things from plants and then call it food. Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is a sensuous woman who is very much in touch with the earth and physical life. You're probably going to be really called to put down your phone, get in the physical here and now, do things to get you in your body, exercising, taking a walk, yoga, even some somatic therapies or like massage therapy, something to reconnect you with your body. Because you can be a lot in your head. That's being in your body grounds you. So Queen of Pentacles is all about earth energy. She knows how to nurture and care for herself and others. So do the thing that you know would be much more caring for you. Clear your schedule if you need to. Get out there and take that walk in nature if you know you're not doing the things that sustain you and are sacred daily practices. This is the time to really take in them. You know, drink your tea, enjoy it, like feel the physical aspect of your life and bring you into the here and now. The summertime, the earth energy, what Brother Snake teaches us to do. Be close to the earth, basically. Her pink head covering is representative of her compassion. Her red garment shows she's willing to get in touch with physical resources and put them to use. She has the ability to be focused and direct in getting things done. She is the personified Earth Mother and wants to see, feel, touch, and smell life. If advice is needed, she's the wise woman to consult. However, she must watch she does not interfere with others' choices or think that she knows what is best. So there's this ability to just keep to yourself in a way, in a restorative way. Like, you know, it's maybe time to take a little sabbatical, or, you know, like El Camino, where you go for a walk in the woods or walk up the mountains, and just have that, like Kai Pacho was talking about, reflect on your life. Have some time to reflect on your life. Use your wisdom for yourself. Especially if, you know, you feel maybe not appreciated by others, or what you're doing isn't appreciated, like you're kind of inserting yourself where you're not supposed to, or wasn't asked for, you know, giving unsolicited advice. That can be draining. That can feel like you're drained, empty, ungrounded, uncertain about your nurturing role. And so give all that to yourself, basically. She must learn how to carry through with her primary responsibilities and when to let go of situations that are out of her control. By observing nature, she will see what it means to be a faithful and loving nurturer. I love that observing nature thing. That's why we do the medicine cards, because animal essence and even plants, this is, you know, the plant in this herbal deck, the essence of them teach us ways that we can be ourselves. So marshmallow root can be used as a means to alleviate grief, fear, and other harsh emotions. Okay, so this week, maybe you got into it with somebody in a Pyrrhic battle and you realized maybe I put my energy where I shouldn't have. Marshmallow root and Queen of Pentacles, this energy will help you let that grief go. Like us women, we tend to ruminate. We tend to rethink when we have a negative experience. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe it was this or whatever. We're social creatures. This marshmallow root essence is going to help us let it go. Just let it go, nurture ourselves, just realize it is what it is, and move on. It will assist in replacing harsh emotions with softness, love, and compassion. Sometimes, mostly for ourselves. Because if you notice, when we're not feeling good inside, it may seem that others reflect that to us. So when we're feeling better inside, it's easier to love and show compassion, and, you know, I need to take my own advice. For those whose healing work has left them with a drained feeling, this herb will do much to rebuild inner strength. Don't feel bad if you have to take time off. I'm not going to feel bad about taking time off, because I know when I come back, it'll be much more restorative. And that's how you need to look at what you're doing. If I retreat and I stop giving to everybody else, I'm being restorative and resourcing, being a resourceful person. Be careful not to take into yourself other people's upsets and emotions. One of my favorite mantras is, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. And as I was mentioning at the beginning of this, what Virgie makes are little cord cutters. They're kind of like a deer antler with like a, for lack of a better term, an arrowhead knife. And you just practice cutting energetic cords where you take on other people's crap. And it's really easy to take on crap if you're very empathetic, if you're an empath. And you assume everybody else is like you, but you know, not everybody is like you.
No, and they're not.
Yeah. I mean, we've had conversations about empaths and narcissists and how if you are empathic, you tend to attract narcissists. Another great person who talks about this is Lee Harris. Lee Harris Energy. He has a great YouTube channel, and he talks a lot about the interaction, the dance between narcissists and empaths. That may be something to examine this weekend coming up. Marshmallow root is highly nutritive. Its softening and emollient qualities are due to its high content of mucilage. That's that sticky gooey thing that you get. That's the only quality that those little plastic, little cylindrical things are that we put in s'mores. But its initial, straight from the plant, has that same sticky kind of gooey quality. But it's pretty much imitating what mucus does in our body. And mucus basically is there to alleviate inflammation. So if we have an irritant in your body, like you inhale hay or pollens or whatever, your nose starts stuffing up. And that's so that your body is protecting itself from those irritants. So for lung ailments, it can be combined with such herbs as elecampane, comfrey, and licorice, or it can be added to kidney diuretic formulas to harmonize the action. So keywords: need to be nurtured and to nurture. Okay, to be in the body and enjoy the touch, sights, tastes, and smells. Really, if you're in that Saturn returns, all up in your head, contemplating my life, depression, mystical depression, being in the body is going to help alleviate some of that stress. So affirmation, go ahead.
I was going to say, and when they're talking about nurturing, that doesn't necessarily mean nurturing somebody else. It could be nurturing your own self.
Exactly.
And your well-being.
Yes, exactly. Affirmation is, I feel the joy of being on the earth. I am nurtured and nurture others with my bliss. So yeah, kind of like, you know, that old analogy, put on your own mask first, because if you don't have any air, you can't do anything for anybody else. And we have to say it over and over again, because I think in our imbalanced valuing masculine energy culture, we don't know how to resource very well. We don't do that. We don't tend to value being versus doing. So that's it for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's a good weekend energy. And then now for the overall energy of the week, Knight of Wands.
Ooh.
Aconite. It's a poisonous herb. Good times. You know what? I'm going to start Miss Virgie's flute music again. Resume. There we go. I was like, I got kind of quiet in here. Okay. Knight of Wands.
Knight of Wands.
It's a lot of fire energy. When we think of fire energy, a lot of us think of like, ooh, fire, burn, like being angry, getting pissed off. But fire also is a great alchemist.
It's a cleanser too.
Yes. It's a great way to put things together that we didn't know would bring us a new result. Okay. The Knight of Wands represents the expanding and volatilizing aspect of fire. Very much that Mars energy, that generative energy. Aries, which is ruled by Mars, is all about it. It's the very first sign in the zodiac. It's the bring it energy, the bursting out of a seed, the penetrating of the male phallus energy. Just go do it. The Nike just do it kind of energy. They should have named Nike Mars, because he really had that just do it energy. And even though Nike is the goddess of the hunt or something like that, or that's Diana, but Nike is one of the Greek goddesses. I don't know that it has the just do it energy. If a woman draws the card, the Knight of the Wands would be most like the character Brunhilde in Wagner's Ring Cycle. I've mentioned this before. Every time I get this card, what's the female, the knight in Game of Thrones with the short blonde hair, the big tall girl? You're a really ugly woman. I think I told her that in the show, but she's very loyal. She's protecting the Stark family. She feels really beholden to the matriarch Stark, and it's that sort of like masculine female energy that I guess is saying you're an enthusiastic female warrior, basically, whose exuberant personality tends to align with and champion various causes. So you can be female and feminine, but you still have a lot of that warrior energy. The Knight of Wands is bold and unafraid to act quickly and with great courage. He must guard against becoming too macho and insensitive. Such an individual does best when he directs his competitive spirit to overcoming personal shortcomings and limitations rather than trying to dominate and control others who are of a more yielding nature. I don't know that if you're really truly a dominant person, you're not really worried about if you're dominating somebody else. But those of us who are cognizant and self-aware wouldn't want to be too dominant. And that's sort of the feminine quality that we're talking about. The aspect of this card, okay? Being cognizant of when you're being too domineering. If he is at all intelligent, he will learn for himself the power or simplicity of yielding. That yielding isn't necessarily weakness. Yielding is wisdom. You know, it would be better for his life expression, however, if he could learn this sooner rather than later, for then he could direct his boundless energy and will to personal spiritual growth and service to others. Really, this is sort of talking about where, again, like the middle of the week, we're talking about choosing your battles. This whole week is saying, what kind of energy do I want to have to show up in? Do I want to be really domineering, or do I want to yield and not let my ego get in the way? All the way into the weekend where you're basically talking about how to overcome conflict. Like, what's the best way to overcome conflict? I think, especially going into Mars retrograde, that's sort of the energy around all of it, is we really want to fight and argue and get irritated and whatever, but at some point we all know we need to come back together and nurture ourselves. And you want to add anything to any of that, Ma?
No, you did a good job.
Quite a bit. Yeah, Chris, you and Janelle. Hey, Chris. Hey, Janelle. What kind of card do y'all want? Do you want an animal card or... Okay, so Courtney, I didn't get what kind of card you wanted, but how about we draw an animal card for everybody, since it looks like most of y'all want one. So, Bridget, Bethany, Karen, Courtney, Mom, and then Chris and Janelle. Okay, so before we even pull in, talk about the animal cards. I know I always kind of talk about the animal card or animal totem or messenger that I have this week. And for me, messenger medicine tends to come in the form of birds. I don't know if it's just because it's Texas and we're like the bird watching capital of North America, but the egret, I saw this flock of egrets, and they're like cranes, but they're not cranes. They were flying across the over the road the other day. Believe it or not, I've had chickens on the road. The chicken crossed the road, right? But egret energy is much more different. Do you wanna shuffle those for us, Ma?
Sure.
And egret energy is a little gentler. It's like a crane. Crane energy is the ability to stand in emotional currents, and yeah, egrets mean prosperity. And to me, we were talking about letting the flow of the universe sort of take you somewhere. It's that mysterious essence, the mysteries of the universe that we need to allow the space for. And so to me, egrets represent like miracles and prosperity, things that you know, come about that we hadn't expected, that were just like a really pleasant surprise. And so yeah, I totally think they represent prosperity, good times ahead. Things are taking a turn for the better. And so for me to see like a flock of 4 of them, because they're typically solitary birds, I took that as an auspicious omen. And whenever you tend to make decisions that like, and this happened after I said, oh, you know what, I'm really just going to take this summer off. When you listen to spirit and you follow that urge, especially when it doesn't make sense, that's when the miracles happen. That's when doors start opening for you. And so I just think like that energy, I wanted to mention that. So, all right, so we're going to pull. Do you want to pull them individually, or do you want to pull them? Let's do it individually, I think. So my mom does her spread a little bit different than I do. And so I like the way she kind of did it. I don't know if you can see this.
Do it in and out.
And Chris, I know you like the music. I don't know if you saw the card that I did earlier. This is from the lady. You've met her before, the lady at the Healing Arts Fair, Virgie Ravenhawk. It's her flute music. She's at that, the vendor who's at the very beginning when you first walk in the door. And she's always got a place there at the hotel where they have this Healing Arts Festival the first Sunday of every month. And so let's start with Bridget, because she couldn't make it live and she asked us to pull a card for her. Okay. Sure, no problem. Ooh, I've been getting cards that I haven't pulled, and I really like that because it just means like we're really digging in and getting some good energy. Yep, Fox. What do you have to say about Fox, Mom?
Fox is very cunning. Fox means to blend into your situations and learn to be invisible and know when to push in and pull out.
Yeah, to be a sly fox. There's a great meme on Facebook or wherever, and it's like this fox in like this big, huge crowd of beagles, and it's like, just look ahead, you know, look straight forward. And he's like, nobody will notice me. That's kind of that sly fox energy, right? And so, oh yeah, we'll put down Rusty as well.
So you know what's really cool? Is you read what it is up here.
Yeah, camouflage. Yep. For some reason, you need to camouflage yourself. Yeah,
there we go.
There we go.
Oh,
it's okay. I'll move forward. We need to move our heads closer together. There we go. Wily Fox has many allies in the woodlands, including the foliage, which offers protection and much medicine. So Fox is seemingly able to vanish amidst the lush undergrowth of the forest. This flora is Fox's ally. The ability to meld into one's surroundings and be unnoticed is a powerful gift when one is observing the activities of others. So that's really like kind of the thing that I think is sticking out for me is like, you need to have that time to like observe what's going on so you can see kind of, is this good for me? I need to see this person's true colors basically. And if you're a fox, you're being sly, you're sort of like nobody knows you're there. You get that ability to see people in their true form, essentially. Another natural gift of fox is the ability to adapt to winter by changing color, like the chameleon. Being versatile, being able to go with the flow. Its rich white winter coat allows Fox to blend into the snow when the leaves no longer linger. Fox's medicine involves adaptability, cunning, observation, integration, and swiftness of thought and action. So for some, you have some situation where you need to apply these qualities to what's going on in your life. These traits may also include quick decisiveness and sure-footedness in the physical world. Fox's ability to be unseen allows it to be the protector of the family unit. If danger arises, Fox is Johnny on the spot. This thing is bothering me. There we go. All right. Nahiwaye, Great Spirit in the Choctaw tongue, honors Fox with the duty of keeping the family together and safe. So if something's going on familial-wise, where you're there to keep things safe. This is accomplished through Fox's ability to observe undetected without making others self-conscious. Fox is always concerned with the safety of family members and is an excellent talisman for those traveling far afield. If Fox has been chosen to share its medicine with you, it's a sign you're to become like the wind, which is unseen, yet is able to weave into and through any location or situation. You would be wise to observe the act of others rather than their words at this time. Yeah, watch their feet, not their mouth. Watch what they do, not what they say. Use your cunning nature in a positive way. Keep silent about who and what and why you are observing. In learning this art of camouflage, you need to test your abilities to pull this off. One test or exercise that may be helpful to you is deciding to be invisible. In doing this exercise, you might try to visualize your body as part of your surroundings, full of the colors of the location you're in. See yourself in your mind's eye, moving with stealth and grace, unheeded by others. If you do it right, it works. You can leave a party unnoticed or become as unobtrusive as a piece of furniture, watching the developing drama of the subjects you are studying. The other thing, too, maybe you have a lot going on around you. This is a good sign to not get directly involved and just sort of sit back and watch. Mm-hmm. While learning from Fox, you might also gain confidence in your ability to know instantly what will happen next. This is one of those, maybe a good way for you to choose your battles this week. If maybe a lot of drama going on around you, if you just sit back and watch, you can determine, do I need to insert myself in this situation or not? And most of the time, it will probably be, no, I don't. After observing, you'll become aware of certain predictability in given situations and be able to quickly make your move. Fox medicine teaches the art of oneness through its understanding of camouflage. This applies on all levels, from rocks to God. Much like the clowns at the rodeo, Fox can keep the raging bull from stampeding a friend or family member. Fox can use silly tactics as a brilliant camouflage move. No one could guess the sly power behind such ingenious maneuvers. Do you have anything to add to that, Ma?
Nope, it's just actions speak louder than words. And
Yes.
know when to blend in and when to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And what's safe and what isn't. This is really cool to read too.
Yes, Fox, where are you? Under the ferns, becoming the forest so I can learn? Are you watching invisible to me, trying to teach me to become a tree? Interesting.
Yep. So if you pulled that card today, it means just know when to just observe.
Yeah. Sit back and
Watch.
not be part of the drama.
Yep.
Okay, so that was for Bridget. And now we're going to do Bethany.
You want to give me the pen? Or I got a pen.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's pick one for Bethany.
It's awfully quiet out there.
Ooh. Possum.
Ooh, know when to play dead.
Know when to play dead.
Yep. Play along.
See, sometimes these animals might be have what we consider undesirable attributes, but they have some really strong medicine that we're not aware of. That's like really necessary at this time. So, possum, roll over. Are you really dead? Or just plain possum? Was it something I said? So again, choosing your battles this week. Possum's all about diversion. So again, it's appropriate for Mars retrograde because that's sort of the opposite of going into battle. Mars retrograde is like, nope, should we fire? Maybe not. So diversion is maybe another tactic to really get what you want, okay? The possum's greatest form of protection is to play dead. In doing this, possum confuses many a predator into believing that the game is over. This is another way of choosing your battles, like pretend the game's over. Oftentimes, the confused rival walks away or looks the other direction for a moment, and possum runs to safety. So really, in the end, does it matter how you got what you needed, or did it do for you what was best for you, which is not to engage in something? So, opossum medicine uses a great deal of strategy. This is sort of that wise, yielding nature that they're talking about. You can yield and still win the battle. It has the ability to fight with its claws and teeth, but it rarely uses this form of protection. Instead, the supreme strategy of diversion is constantly employed when things get a little too hard to handle. You almost always want people to comply naturally rather than to force somebody to do something. A possum has developed an act that would receive an Academy Award in the animal kingdom. The musk of the death scent is excreted at will, kind of foul, but adding to the master play that sends enemies on many trails of confusion. If possum is turned up in your cards, you're being asked to use strategy in some present situation. Yeah, don't be in your face like masculine do energy. Something is asking you to maybe come up with a different diversion to get what you want out of the situation, or to avoid it, if anything. If you have to pretend to be apathetic or unafraid, do it. Oftentimes, if you refuse to struggle or show that hurtful words bother you, your taunter will see no further fun in the game. Warriors have used opossum medicine for centuries, playing dead when the enemy nears and outnumbers them. Then, in a flash, when the enemy is least expecting it, the war cry is heard. The fright of this serves to further confuse the unsuspecting opposition. So victory is sweet when the strategy is one of mental as well as physical prowess. The possum may be relaying to you that you're to expect the unexpected and be clever in achieving your victory. I think it's that cleverness that we're talking about. There's ways to not be like really in your face confronting someone, like the boar. This could be a victory over a bothersome salesman or a nosy neighbor. In essence, possum is beckoning you to use your brain and your sense of drama and surprise to leap over some barrier to your progress. So,
that was for Bethany.
That was for Bethany. And now we have one for Karen.
Turtle.
Turtle for Karen. You know we live on Turtle Island, right? North America. Let's see, we'll add Stephanie to the bottom here. All right. So y'all are coming on today because you know this is my last one for a while, so I'm happy you all are here. So, turtle. Some of the rattles that Virgie Ravenhawk makes are made out of turtle shells. They're really beautiful. Chair came apart. Turtle, great mother, feed my spirit, clothe my heart, that I may serve you too. Turtle is all about Mother Earth. So think about when you look at the map, the red people call North America Turtle Island because it kind of resembles a turtle shell. And it's also part of the mythic that the earth grew from, turtle. Turtle is the oldest symbol for planet Earth. It's the personification of goddess energy and the eternal mother from which our lives evolve. We're born of the womb of Earth, and to her soil our bodies will return. In honoring the Earth, we are asked by Turtle to be mindful of the cycle of give and take, to give back to the mother as she has given to us. And Turtle energy is really grounding. Think about moving slower, but steadier too. Turtle has a shell which is similar to the protection that Earth has employed for centuries as her body has been defiled. Mother Earth's protection has come in the form of earth changes, new plant growth, and the creation of new land masses by volcanoes and climate alterations. Like turtle, you also have shields that protect you from hurt, envy, jealousy, and the unconsciousness of others. Something else too, like what's stopping you from pulling within and not letting the external storms get to you? Turtle teaches you through its habit patterns how to use protection. If you're bothered by the actions or words of others, it's time to go inside yourself and honor your feelings. If you are attacked, it's time to give a warning snap. If you've chosen the turtle symbol, you're being asked to honor the creative source within you, to be grounded to the earth, and to observe your situation with motherly compassion. Use the water and earth energies, which represent turtle's two homes, to flow harmoniously with your situation and to place your feet firmly on the ground in a power stance. Turtle's a fine teacher of the art of grounding. You may even be able to overcome some of your space cadet tendencies if you align with turtle medicine. Whenever I think about turtles, it's definitely that I'm actually probably utilizing some of that when I'm slowing down in this Mars retrograde. There's nothing wrong with slowing down, getting off the hamster wheel, and going within. You don't have to respond to all the external stuff around you if it's stressing you out. Shut off your Facebook, social media, stop taking phone calls if you just don't want to talk to anyone right now. You get to do that. In learning to ground, you're placing focus on your thoughts and actions and slowing to a pace that assures completion. Turtle warns of the dangers of pushing the river, as evidenced by the plodding pace it keeps. The corn that is harvested before its time is not yet full. However, it is given the chance to develop at its own rate. In its own season, its sweetness will be shared by all. Turtle buries its thoughts like its eggs in the sand and allows the sun to hatch the little ones. Do you ever notice too that even though Mother Nature doesn't rush, it still gets where it needs to go? All these turtles, they still make it to the ocean. And there's plenty of us. I know here in South Padre Island, when the big sea turtles hatch their eggs, little hatchlings, like I think it's always like the same. If you're listening, which one are we talking about? You go down there to Corpus Christi or the coast whenever the turtles hatchlings come out and they all make their way to the ocean. It says, turtle buries its thoughts like its eggs in the sand and allows the sun to hatch the little ones. This teaches you to develop your ideas before bringing them out into the light. Look at the old fable of the tortoise and the hare and decide for yourself whether or not you would like to align with turtle. Bigger, stronger, and faster are not always the best ways to get to a goal. This might be like in the face of toxic masculinity right now, like that hare energy, like, I'm doing more than you, I'm faster, haha, like that brashness in your face. Turtle is just like, I'm just going to be me. I'm going to do what I need to do at my own pace and not be affected by that toxicity. So when you arrive, you may be asked where you've been, or you may not be able to remember. It doesn't matter, does it? In that case, arriving prematurely can make you feel very immature. If you draw the turtle card, it augurs a time of connecting with the power of Earth and the Mother Goddess within. This is a reminder of the ally you have in Mother Earth. Yeah, the Kemp turtles. Yeah, they're the big sea turtles, and they always hatch. Their little hatchlings come out like at the same time every year, and I think it's July.
And they go back to where they were hatched.
Yeah, they always return to the same place too. This is a reminder that of the ally you have in Mother Earth. It does not matter what situation you've created. Ask for her assistance, and abundance will follow. All right. So that's for Karen.
Karen. So now it's Courtney.
Yep, and this one's for Courtney. All right.
Whew. That. Let things drive you batty.
Exactly. That is all about rebirth. Okay. Sacred bat flew to me from the darkness of the cave. Womb-like reflections, answers it gave. Birth, death, rebirth, cycles of the whole, never-ending, just eclipsed the journey of the soul. Steeped in the mystery of Mesoamerican tribal ritual is the legend of Bat. Akin to the ancient Buddhist belief in reincarnation, in Central America, Bat is the symbol of rebirth. The bat has, for centuries, been a treasured medicine of the Aztec, Toltec, Tolucan, and Mayan people. Bat embraces the idea of shamanistic death. The ritual death of the healer is steeped in secrets and highly involved initiation rites. Shaman death is the symbolic death of the initiate to the old ways of life and personal identity. So, initiation that brings the right to heal and to be called shaman is necessarily preceded by ritual death. There's some things in your life you're going to have to really let go of to move on to the next level, to ascend, basically. In light of today's standards, it can be very difficult to find a person who can take the abuse and come through it with their balance intact. Yeah, oh wow, your daughter was talking about bat. My dad is about to die, assisted suicide because his body's dying. Yep. I do feel like a shaman and this has chosen me. Yeah, exactly. Yep. So the basic idea of ancient initiations was to break down all the former notions of self that were held by the shaman to be. This could entail brutal tests of physical strength and psychic ability and having every emotional button pushed hard. So especially during the Saturn return, we're having a lot of our triggers come back up. And, you know, what's going on with your dad, you might be feeling a lot of old patterns reemerging. And they're there to ask you, have you moved forward? Have you evolved? Have you given up the old ways of thinking to move forward? The final initiation step was to be buried in the earth for one day and to be reborn without the former ego in the morning. Yes. Mm-hmm. This ritual is very similar to the Night of Fear practiced by natives of Turtle Island. In this ritual, the shaman to be is sent to a certain location to dig his or her grave and spend the night in the womb of Mother Earth. And totally alone. So there you are, holding space for those who are dying, right? With the mouth of the grave covered by a blanket. Darkness and the sounds of an animal prowling quickly confronts the initiate with his or her fears. As the darkness of the grave has its place in this ritual, so does the cave of Bat. Hanging upside down is a symbol for learning to transpose your former self into a newborn being. This is also the position that babies assume when they enter the world from the womb of woman. If Bat has appeared in your cards today, it symbolizes the need for a ritualistic death of some way of life that no longer suits your new growth pattern.
Mm-hmm. Letting go of the past.
Yep. This can mean a time of letting go of old habits and of assuming the position in life that prepares you for rebirth, or in some cases, initiation. In every case, Bat signals rebirth of some part of yourself or the death of an old pattern. If you resist your destiny, it can be a long, drawn-out, or painful death. Yeah, you've been hanging upside down on your yoga swing. Yes, that's another way to practice that energy. The universe is also asking you to grow and become your future. Boy, that's pretty profound. To do so, you must die the shaman's death. Wow.
So why don't you go right to, skip me, go to Chris.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going to do Chris.
Ooh.
Got it upside down.
Contrary.
We haven't had a contrary card since we've been on here, and now we have one. Let's see what it has to say. This is 43. Spider. Upside down spider.
What a great card.
Okay, so spider is all about weaving, right? Spider, weaving webs of delight, weave me a peaceful world, carrying creation in your web, waiting to be unfurled. So the contrary aspect of spider is akin to the negative side of woman. Spider will eat her mate if she gets too caught up in herself to see the validity of honoring male energy. The warrior at her side is a strong balancing force. Rusty, if you're listening, I'm sure you're finding this very amusing. Okay. If you become disdainful of your mate, male or female, and have felt very superior recently, you're not honoring either your male or female side. I love these cards because they're so humbling. If you're not presently in a relationship, you may have chosen a member of your family or a workmate to harass. This type of negative criticism only breaks down relations and is a reflection of something you hate about yourself. So I always talk about Saturn returns, and this sort of stuff, the shadow side, the contrary side of things, they're the most difficult, but they're also the most powerful lessons. Like when we go, you know, maybe I am being harassing, maybe I am, you know, trying to eat my mate. When we get real with ourselves, like our relationships like really open up. Like the benefit is, you know, there's benefit there to recognizing what's going on within. If you're trying to feed your ego in this manner, you've lost the game. You're entangled in the web of your own illusion about who you really are. And so when we feel like the pain is separation of who we really are, it's a sign like maybe I'm not on my path, maybe I'm not in right relationship with self, but I get to be in right relationship with self. So this is just, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm feeling this way because I need to pay more attention to resourcing myself, taking care of myself. It may be time to look at why you are being critical and why you're feeling so weak that you must attack others. It's usually, like I was saying, it's time to give to yourself. If this does not apply to your situation, take a look at another message that contrary spider medicine brings. Lack of creativity. Maybe you don't want to weave. Maybe you don't want to make Charlotte's Web. If you fail to use your talents to get the web spinning, your lack of creativity can change into destructiveness. If you're feeling stagnant and unable to move in positive direction, you may come to resent others who are doing well. This resentment will become a black widow spider and eat you up. And the only one to mourn your demise will be you. Get moving. Find joy. I always say you find your true desires and what you find yourself envious of. You know, if somebody is doing really well, or they get to exercise, or whatever, they have time to go to yoga class, that's what you really want to do. Think about what it is that's holding you back or making you feel resentful. There's good data there for you. There's good intuition there, good wisdom. This resentment will become a black widow spider. Like I said, if you're not looking at the data as important information, don't look within for criticism. Look within for wisdom and data. Get moving, find joy in new ideas and the accomplishments of others, and use them to propel you into a new phase of creative spinning on your own web of delight. Observe spider's web and find pleasure in the ideas you receive from your universal language. All right.
This is
Janelle?
Janelle.
All right.
We have to go check on the kids.
Yep, very shortly. You're welcome, Courtney. Oh my goodness, I'm pulling a lot of cards that I haven't pulled yet.
Oh, alligator.
For Janelle.
Excuse me, everyone. I shall
Mom's going to pop off here while she goes and checks on little ones because they got mysteriously quiet. Okay. This is the alligator for Janelle. Integration. Alligator, let me drop my judgments, accepting life with grace so that forlorn care and worry will vanish from my face. Let me integrate each moment, digesting life with ease, counting all my experiences as equal opportunities. The powerful gift of alligator medicine is to fully appreciate and integrate all that life offers. Gator shows us the value of thoroughly digesting both the pleasures and pains of life. In many ways, alligator's medicine is reflected in its behavior. This could be a period of sort of marking time and like kind of looking at all of your ups and downs in life and saying, you know what, all of these make me who I am. So when gator rolls under the water with its prey, its message is to roll with the punches when being attacked by life's circumstances. Carefully storing its prey under a log until the meat is tender teaches us about patience and proper timing. Choosing to laugh when tangled in your own seriousness can immediately diffuse the stranglehold of anger and judgments, self-importance, and inflexibility. Once your rigidity is removed, you're free to again integrate the present set of circumstances. So if you're feeling really like kind of pushed, pressured to move forward and like do things a certain way, maybe holding back, waiting for divine timing, something about that is going to be more powerful for you. Once your rigidity is removed, you're free to again integrate the present set of circumstances, fighting what you may have formerly overlooked. Then you can learn Gator's lessons on how to digest the value of any life lesson. So, you know, maybe something that happened to you in the past, you're looking at it now from a new way, and you're like, wow, okay, something that maybe was a hardship in the past, now I realize, oh, that's teaching me this, that's like really powerful for me, or it taught me this, and now that's become an asset for me. So Gator medicine people refrain from passing judgment until they have examined all the facts and seen all sides of any situation. It may be time to drop opinions and judgments so that the present situation can be fully understood. Gator might have surfaced in the river of your life to tell you to digest the situation at hand before making any rash moves. You could also be dealing with someone who is too serious or rigid. If this is the case, embrace your flexibility, knowing that you are expanding beyond your former limits, even if others are wallowing in their self-created quicksand. Have you been rushing through your life and not taking the time to count your victories or to digest your rites of passage? That's definitely what this Mars retrograde is all about. And really, the rites of passage are like the big things in your life that you maybe didn't realize had such a profound effect on you now. If so, it could be time to honor your progress, mindful that quick fix solutions do not support long-term goals, and you could be in the midst of the doing part instead of the end goal, you know, where, you know, some people are at the end or the beginning of, you may be in the middle, and so it's sort of messy in the middle, and time for you to just not judge yourself for the messiness in the middle. Avoid getting stuck in the duality and quagmire of the human judgment game. Use calm, resolve, review your healing process and life lessons, integrating the growth you have attained. In all cases, Gator is telling you that something may have escaped your perception. Ask yourself what viewpoint or possibility did not get factored into your assessment. Did that missing piece of the puzzle keep you from having an accurate overview of what is now occurring? If so, it's never too late to reevaluate the situation from a more integrated and flexible point of view. Remember, Gator's eyes and nostrils are often the only parts of its body above water while it senses its surroundings. Gator integrates all probabilities before it makes its move. There you go. That was for Janelle. And now I have one for Rusty. Let me catch up on the notes here. Yeah, that was a new card. You're welcome. And you're welcome, Courtney. Go through this. Turtles. All right. Okay. This card is for Rusty. Loyalty, the dog. Dog, you're so noble until the bitter end. Your medicine is the teaching of true and loyal friends. All of the Southwest and Plains Indian tribes had dogs. These noble animals would often give warning signals of approaching danger. They helped in the hunt and were a great source of warmth on long winter nights. Since the canine tribe has many breeds, early Indian dogs were usually half wild. This wildness, however, never divested the owners of their dogs' innate loyalty. Dogs have been considered the servant of humanity throughout history. If a person carries dog medicine, he or she is usually serving others or humanity in some way. Here you will find the charity worker, the philanthropist, the nurse, the counselor, the minister, and the soldier. And even if you're not doing this in like a professional capacity, you could be this position in your personal life. Have you always been the friend that they could call upon to always be there for them, or that sort of situation? Dog was the servant soldier that guarded the tribe's lodges from surprise attack. Of course, well, you know, us police officers, we call ourselves sheepdog. We keep the wolf from the sheep. Dog is a medicine that embodies the loving gentleness of best friend and the half-wild protector energy of territorial imperative. Like Anubis, the jackal dog protector of Egypt, Dog is a guardian. So are you a guardian in your life? Throughout history, a dog has been the guardian of hell, as well as of ancient secrets, hidden treasures, and babies. While mothers were cooking or in the fields, dog honors its gift and is loyal to the trust placed in its care. In examining dog medicine, you might find that you have fond personal memories of owning and loving dog as a pet, which I know to be true. The message that dog is trying to give you is that you must delve deeply into your sense of service to others. Canines are genuinely service-oriented animals and are devoted to their owners with a sense of loyalty that supersedes how they are treated. If dog has been yelled at or paddled, it still returns love to the person who is the source of its bad treatment. So this can be an honorable trait. Many people are, marvel at a dog's ability to still love in the face of abuse, and just that they know who they are, that their loving, loyal heart is who they are. This does not come from stupidity, but rather a deep and compassionate understanding of human shortcomings. It is as if a tolerant spirit dwells in the heart of every canine that asks only to be of service. You can also see dogs that have had the loyalty beaten out of them. They cower and cry at the slightest look of disapproval, but this is not their normal nature. Some varieties of dogs have been even trained against their nature to be brutal and vicious. Out of a sense of service, these breeds have adopted the attack-oriented desires of their owners. They carry an altered genetic memory that's what service means if they are to be approved of their masters. Dog medicine asks you to look at how readily your sense of loyalty is countermanded by your need for approval. If you've pulled the dog card, there are several questions you need to consider depending on the situation about which you are asking. Have I recently forgotten that I owe my allegiance to my personal truth in life? Is it possible that gossip or the opinions of others have jaded my loyalty to a certain friend or group? Have I denied or ignored someone who's trying to be my loyal friend? Have I been loyal and true to my goals? So there you are. That's for Rusty. Oh, you're welcome, Janelle. So glad you guys are listening. And then last but not least, I have Stephanie. And what a good way to end the reading. One of my favorites. Raven, magic. Raven, black as pitch, mystical as the moon. Speak to me of magic, I will fly with you soon. Throughout time, Raven has carried the medicine of magic. To me, this sense of magic is that mysteries of the universe, the piece that, the universe is carrying you without you having any say in the matter. All right. You're welcome, Rusty. This has been true in many cultures across the planet. It is sacred in the medicine ways to honor Raven as the bringer of magic. If the magic is bad medicine, the carrier may be honored out of fear rather than out of respect. Those who fear Raven may do so because they have been dabbling in areas in which they have no knowledge, and a spell may have backfired on them. Rather than analyzing the dark side of sorcery, realize that you will fear Raven only if you need to learn about your inner fears or self-created demons. Raven magic is a powerful medicine that can give you the courage to enter the darkness of the void. That's in the East, right? That's the mysteries of the universe. Which is the home of all that is not yet informed. The void, the black matter, the void is called the Great Mystery. The Great Mystery existed before all other things came into being, the place where thoughts become things. Great Spirit lives inside the void and emerged from the Great Mystery. Raven is the messenger of the void. If Raven appears in your spread, you're about to experience a change in consciousness. This may involve walking inside the Great Mystery on another path at the edge of time. It would portend a signal brought by the Raven that says, you have earned the right to see and experience a little more of life's magic. Raven's color is the color of the void, black hole in space that holds all the energy of the creative source, black matter. In native teachings, the color black means many things, but it does not mean evil. Black can mean the seeking of answers, the void, or the road of the spiritual or non-physical. The blue-black of Raven contains an iridescence that speaks of the magic of darkness and the changeability of form and shape that brings an awakening in the process. Raven is the guardian of ceremonial magic and in absentia healing. Basically, you know, what we're doing here. You know, I'm giving you all information from spirit, but you're not physically here, you're on, you know, the internet. In any healing circle, Raven is present. Raven guides the magic of healing and the changes in consciousness that will bring about a new reality and dispel disease or illness. I'm kind of really being called to just say, you really need to call upon this energy of like letting spirit handle some stuff that maybe you've been trying too hard to do yourself. Because whatever spirit does is going to be 1,000 times better than you can do. And it'll be like a pleasant surprise. I don't know. Raven brings in the new state of wellness from the void of great mystery and the field of plenty. Raven is, and it may be in the form of new people with new ideas, maybe help you solve some mysteries or conflict that have been ongoing, somehow add new energy into it. Raven is the messenger that carries all energy flows of ceremonial magic between the ceremony itself and the intended destination. For instance, if a ceremony is being performed to send energy to a disaster area where people need courage and strength, Raven would be the courier for that energy flow. The intention could be to allow the people of the devastated area to feel the concern and support of the participants in the ceremony. If you have chosen Raven, magic is in the air. Do not try to figure it out, because you can't. That's that mystery of the universe. It's the power of the unknown at work, and something special is about to happen. I really need you to remember that. Something special is about to happen. The deeper the mystery, however, is how you will respond to the sparkling synchronicity of this alchemical moment. Will you recognize it and use it to further enhance your growth? Can you accept it as a gift from the Great Spirit? Or will you limit the power of the great mystery by explaining it away? Don't try to figure it out, really. It may be time to call Raven as a courier to carry an intention, some healing energy, a thought, or a message. Remember when I say blow it into that mysterious, you know, metaphysical bubble and have Raven, or carry it to, you know, the purple flame energy. Let spirit take it away, whatever problem it is that you're needing to let go of, and stop trying to control. So Raven is the patron of smoke signals or spirit messages represented by smoke. So if you want to send a message to the Blue Road of Spirit, in order to contact the ancients, call Raven. Or, who knows, the ancients may be calling you. Remember, the magic moment came from the void of darkness, and the challenge is to bring it to light. In doing so, you will have honored the magician within. So look for where magic is happening. Oh my goodness. So guys, that concludes tonight's card reading. Thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to be coming back at the end of August, which seems like probably the very first weekend will be Labor Day weekend, because after August 27th is when Mars stations and goes forward. And I'm hoping that by then I'll have a more clear view of like kind of what I want to do. So, but I thank you guys for being here. I'll probably pop in here and probably do some lives and whatnot as Spirit calls me to do so. So, you know, I'm not going to not come on here, but I'm just going to hold off on the card readings just until school starts up again. So that way I can be more present, and I'm just feeling really called to do so. And I thank you guys for being here as always. And until, I guess, September, I'll see you guys. Oh, you're welcome, Chris. And love you all. Thanks for staying on so long. And bye for now.